Welcome back to Young TRIPP Reactions.
You're watching Young TRIPP Reactions, the show where rapper Young TRIPP reacts to the latest videos on crime, drama, news, and so much more. Get ready, because the show's about to start. Let's go.
And that's the part that really ticks me off. The fact that she has a disability and they allow this mess to go down. Regardless of a disability, this should not be happening. But the fact that she has an intellectual disability and these uncivilized mutt parents allowed this mess to go down. That's why they're on Young TRIPP Reactions. What do you mean it isn't the first time? Bruh. $500,000 to join a club. Come on now, man. That club better have everything in it to pay that much money. Come and smoke some meth with me. He told minor children that. You know he said more if he said that, y'all. This relative was defending his family, and he's sitting in jail. You know me as an activist that I have to react to something like this. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, join the Young TRIPP family. If you have any videos that you run across that fit the channel, post them in my community tab or send it to me over on Instagram. If you have anything personal that you have going on that you may want me to bring some more awareness to, send me a direct message over on Instagram and we can see if it fits the channel or fits something that I want to bring awareness to.
You can also send those things to Young TRIPP's Facebook, and make sure you follow him on both those things. All links will be below.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Such a damn shame. Let's get into this. Welcome back to Young TRIPP Reactions. The next video we're gonna do is influencers are blasting through their money and going broke. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. If you have any videos that you run across that you want to hear me react to on the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. Also, make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram, because I post over there as well too. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights, involving you, a friend, or a loved one, send that to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. Let me know about the civil rights attorneys involved, similar to Ben Crump or Ben Crump himself. Let me know about the activists that are involved so I can join them as an activist myself in the fight for justice for you and your family. Also, if it does involve a friend or a relative, see if they want to come on and tell their story about whatever has happened with them. If they're not in a situation where they can come on and do that, then you can do that for them, or you guys can write just a statement and then I can get that out there along with pulling the public information. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. And make sure you come follow me over on my professional FB or my professional Instagram and let's get into this.
That how y'all have to go back, get on here complaining that how y'all have to go back working a 9 to 5 because you started hauling and spending money like your ass is Dwayne Wade or some shit. Y'all start getting paid from these social medias, and then it's like everything just goes out the window, and you just start feeling like you above everything as far as finances. Why, if you starting to get a $4,000 check, you think, oh, let me go get me a high rise in an expensive ass city that you probably paying close to that 4,000 check that you're getting or more, trying to keep up with the Joneses.
I mean, what she's saying is, accurate. I remember at the same time, I was kind of like getting into, making remixes to other people's songs. And then at the same time, I was already doing remixes to other people's songs, but I was like, becoming an adult, getting into college, getting my culinary and hospitality degree. Just had a car accident with a taxi driver at the time, and kind of got a bit injured a little bit by hitting my head on the payment machine that's on the back of the seat of the taxi. And then obviously me already having, my situation is, my eyesight situation is connected to a brain injury. And then obviously me, making remixes to other people's songs, because at that point I wasn't making my own songs yet. I was making remixes, and my stuff was doing pretty good on my channel for that at that time. And I remember one thing, as my mother was telling me when I got my little nutty from my car accident, and then obviously a little bit regarding, my content creation of rapping to other people's songs by making remixes. As my mother said, even with you being a content creator and getting this little money from a car accident, don't get in over your head. Don't, think you better than anybody else, or think that you got to flash or show off because of you being a content creator. You know, because anything can change overnight. And you need to be able to, obviously, like, manage your money and think more wisely. Now, of course, at that time I was, 19, 20, 21 years old at that time. As a person now that's almost 30 years old, obviously once I get my reactions to the same point that my music is at, because obviously my music, because I make my own music now, I don't make, remixes to other people's songs. That's already monetized. I already get, through my distributor, through DistroKid, and get money and stuff, stuff like that for plays and stuff like that, regarding that when people are playing my music. But I also understand to know that that's involving music plays. But then I know the type of niche that I do regarding reactions is, not necessarily going to go anywhere. However, anything can change. People may not want to hear your take anymore. Anything is possible. So any type of money that you make from any social media, you need to be wise about how to save it, how to spend it, and all of that. See, like me, I know that once I get all this established regarding my reactions, I'm only going to sit down with an advisor, get everything aligned and all of that, so I don't end up, blasting through a whole bunch of money, or just being like, oh, because I got it, I can just go through it because of me being a content creator. A lot of these people just, oh, I got money now, oh, I'm on top of the world now, and think that you're better than somebody just because you're a content creator. That's not true. And again, like I said, my mother instilled that in me from the time I started doing content creation, which is around the same time. Well, obviously I was doing it before, but like taking it more real serious, and getting into the point where I was getting ready to start making my own music and all that type of stuff, realizing that my remixes and stuff was doing good. That just because you doing good doing this doesn't mean just blow through all the money. And the same thing with, with the money with my car accident. Boy, I wish I would have listened now. But and the same thing, my father told me the same thing too. But again, you're 18, 19, 20 years old and all that. That's just life. But, now my whole mindset is different with me getting into adding these reactions along with my music and plus the other stuff that I do. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. Let's continue.
I paying close to that 4,000 check that you're getting or more, trying to keep up with the Joneses. I really don't understand that. Help me understand that. This girl just got on here talking about how she was making $60,000 from TikTok. I think that's a lot of damn money for each month. How do you blow that much money and now you're talking about now you got to go back working a 9 to 5? Are y'all just dumb?
Well, one thing that I can say about TikTok is more of a one-hit wonder show. That's really my opinion regarding TikTok. It's more of a one-hit wonder show. Some people do very well on there and they still continue to make money on there. But to me, it's more of a one-hit wonder show. I believe that YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook is really where it's at. Again, starting with YouTube is, really where it's at, if you ask me. I believe TikTok is a one-hit wonder show. I think it's a success for certain people, for some people. It just depends on you, and it also depends on who likes what you're doing. And it could work out as a long source of income. But you got to think about YouTube has memberships. You can get paid for your live streams. You can get paid by ads on your videos. You can get paid just do so many different things regarding YouTube. You can sell stuff. You can have a shop. You can have a store. You can sell things. Like it just doesn't end with YouTube. And so that's the whole thing versus things like TikTok. You can just, most people, like I said, it's a one-hit wonder type deal. But for some people, it does work out for a long form content for them to make substantial money. So it really just ends, but really YouTube and Instagram and FB is really where it's at. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. Let's continue.
Are y'all that much money? And now you're talking about now you got to go back working a 9 to 5. Are y'all just dumb? Are y'all dumb? How hard is it to stay down until you can stack up some extra money? And nobody's saying not to go, get you a new car, say if you don't got no car. Or go get you a used car because your car that you got is not properly working. Nobody's saying not to do those things or to go and put yourself in a better living situation. But it's like y'all get this extra little bit of money and y'all think y'all just overly rich now. And then when shit starts slowing down.
Advertising, y'all.
But it's like y'all get this extra little bit of money and y'all think y'all just overly rich now. And then when shit starts slowing down, y'all looking like, who the fuck done did it?
And I get what she's saying. It depends on what type of niche. I cover, police brutality, stuff like the police mistreating people videos. I, cover different, relationship type videos. I cover things that is, not gonna go anywhere. Like for instance, the video, as you will hear from some of my intros, the video of the girl involving her brother, the disabled girl, and what he did and all that to her and all that, and she had an intellectual disability. The whole thing about the person with the lady going to Arby's and the Arby's manager having herpes and spitting all in the food because she came right before they got ready to close at 10:50 or something like that. I'm just thinking of different videos. The one lady where she said that herpes is her superpower. You know, obviously I have music on my channel, so like my recovery song, my Foreign Girls Like Me song, my song Never Trust Clean, Never Trust Dirty, Revenue, you know, all of my different songs, along with all the different reactions that I have on my channel. So I cover things that aren't going to go anywhere. There's always going to be a crazy cop doing something. There's always going to be a racist, crazy person doing something. You know, obviously my music, you know, I'm always going to be able to create something to write to that. But when you're just blogging your day and things like that, eventually there's only so many blogging days or try on hauls or you know, things like that, that only so many people are going to watch from you until they want to see something else, either, you know, from you, because they've already watched so many of that. And if that's what you've built everything on and you can't necessarily move on to something else, then yeah, eventually it's going to dry all up and then you're going to have to go get an everyday job again. You know, unless you got a store or something, and maybe people may want to always buy from your store, but then that may not be all the time. You know, if you're making clothes or something, you know, but you know, if you're just blogging your day or doing try-on hauls and stuff like that, eventually that's gonna dry up because it's not like news. Like I cover things from the news. I cover stuff that Anton is covering. I cover stuff that Willie D is covering. I cover stuff that you know, Trey King is covering. I cover stuff from the local news. And these are things that people will always want to click and watch because somebody's always going to be doing something crazy. Somebody may live in that area, so they may want to see it, or live in that state or live in that city. And so then they're going to want to watch. But just things that you are doing on a day-to-day basis will eventually dry up. And so the things like what me and Anton and Willie D do and Trey King, that stuff is never gonna go anywhere because somebody's always gonna continue to do something crazy. Somebody's always gonna do something crazy all the time. So that ain't going nowhere. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. So the way to try to handle that is either to add a second niche, like how I have music plus reactions, right? And so with blogging, maybe you could add blogging and reactions, or, you know, or something like that to maybe help you. And then you got to figure out, will you do reactions or something that people will want to hear and cover? Because you can't just be reacting to just whatever. You need to be reacting to things that people will want to hear, because otherwise nobody's going to really watch. You know, I get like 4.8K views, 5.8K views on like my videos because I'm covering things that people want to cover. So like even like the whole thing as well too with Candace Matthews, the one that I recently just covered, where a man found you know, a condom, a romantic, you know, tool inside of his chicken. You would have never, ever expected to hear something like that. So again, that is something that's not, that you would hear every day, and that is absolutely disgusting and crazy and just, it's everything, you know, it's like, what? And it was cooked in it and everything else, and all of that. And, you know, and I broke all that down as a person with a culinary degree and, you know, sanitation issues and, you know, all that. So, you know, that's the thing. You got to be able to have a second niche if you're going to be doing blogging and stuff, because there's only so much of that people want to hear. When you're covering these news stories and stuff, it's always something new, and sometimes it's even crazier than the last story. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. Let's continue.
Like, and then when shit starts slowing down, y'all looking like, who the fuck done did it?
It's very easy for people that's never been there to talk about it, but I'll tell you that most people got to get it out of their system. And the window for most creators, which a lot of people get smitten by the money, but the window for most creators is pretty short. Like, there's been creators that has blew up, one-hit wonders, people that went viral, and now they got to get a regular job. And let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with getting a regular job, but I remember when, and a lot of y'all have been following me on my YouTube journey for an extended period of time. Even now, I'll probably spend less than 5% of my income that I generate. And I'm going to be here forever because I understand the game and I also understand where the money is. But I've seen a lot of people burn out. I've seen a lot of people live the lifestyle. I've seen a lot of people, like, it's no different than a person that's working a 9-to-5 and start making $100,000 a year. More than half of everybody that make over $100,000 a year is still living paycheck to paycheck. So, for a lot of people, and I had the opportunity to make a lot of money when I was younger and then blow it and then go broke and then get money again. And so it's no different than most people. You start seeing the money, you don't understand taxes. It's just like NBA players, ball players, rappers, it's the same thing. So people don't always look at things from a business perspective because their experiences, they just get money. They're not used to generating that type of revenue, whether you're making an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, or you're making $60,000, or you're making $100,000, or you're making $250,000, or you're making $500,000 a month. And I know a lot of y'all say, man, that's impossible. No, it's very, very possible. I promise you, but you have to work it like a job, A, and then B, you got to understand that it may not be there forever, right? So the smart people, to be honest with you, would allocate a lot of money. But I'm going to get into that in a minute. But I will just say that a lot of people like her, which, I don't know her, but I'm just speaking to what it is she's speaking to. A lot of people will say that they would do something, but you don't know what you would do until you're in that situation.
You did it.
Facts.
Her, which, I don't know her, but I'm just speaking to what it is she's speaking to. A lot of people will say that they would do something, but you don't know what you would do until you're in that situation.
You did it. You did it. I say all this to say, y'all get on here and be fumbling hella bags. Hella bags. And it be pissing me off because certain opportunities was given to the right people. Motherfuckers ain't fumbling that.
Cap. 98, 99% of most people is going to do the same thing. 98 to 90, even the most business savvy people, they're going to want to buy a crib, they're going to want to buy a car, they're going to do all of these things, and they not buying it cash. They're going to do the same thing that everybody else do. And everybody says that, oh man, they giving it to the wrong people. Cap, I just don't believe you because I've seen it happen to the same people that said that, and then they went back and they did the same thing.
They not. But y'all, especially in this economy, I don't know what the hell y'all be thinking.
Did y'all see that video of that girl asking how all the OG influencers were making $30,000 to $50,000 a month and now they're broke and e-bagging on TikTok? Like, what happened?
I don't even know who y'all consider OG influencers. I consider OG influencers people from the early 2000s, but those was my OGs.
To all that money. So as somebody who accumulated over 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube back in 2015, and I was literally living in LA, so I witnessed a lot of this, I'm going to give you guys the breakdown on what happened with that money. I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but just what I've seen. When I moved out there, I thought I was pushing it with my $2,000 one-bedroom apartment, but I had people living in the same building, just at the top floor. I was on the third floor, but they were at the top floor paying $20,000 a month. And then I had some friends that lived in mansions just for the sole purpose of wanting to be able to throw parties and have people come over and make content in there. Literally paying people's yearly salaries, like $30,000-$40,000 a month just to rent this huge house. So for those of you that were also wondering, like, why do a lot of these influencers have big...
Why would you want to rent somebody's house just to show off to somebody else? You don't need to show off to somebody else. If you are a content creator, great for you and it's working for you, because showing off to people, God could end up taking that away because you're trying to like show off, be better, or, oh, I'm better than you, oh, I'm a content creator and all that. As I just stated, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. People gonna see how you move, what you got going on, and how things are working for you as a content creator. You don't need to go rent somebody else's house out and try to live this big old luxury lifestyle and trying to impress somebody or not. Like, if you got to do all that, it's not even no need to be doing it. They ain't really your friends if they can't accept the real you. You don't need to go rent out somebody's house and pay basically their entire yearly salary basically to rent out their house because you just want to be on the popular side and stuff and trying to be so big and bad, because you could put yourself in a situation where you could end up real jammed up, and that's why you don't have no money now, because now you put yourself in a situation you all jammed up. Again, like I said, thank goodness, like my mother told me that you don't need to flex or show off to people regarding you being a content creator, or this other money that you didn't got from being in an accident. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. Let's continue.
Houses, but they're fucking empty. People's yearly salaries, like $30,000-$40,000 a month just to rent this huge house. So for those of you that were also wondering, like, why do a lot of these influencers have big houses, but they're fucking empty? Not even joking, to get some good quality furniture in there, it's gonna cost you like $500,000. And don't even get me started on their Uber ego. It's like people reach a certain amount of followers and all of a sudden they can't use Uber X. Ew, we can't pull up to this party in a Prius. Order an Uber Black. Why would we spend $250 to pull up to a party when we could spend $19.99? Half the cars that you see these people whipping around are rentals, and they're spending like $300-$500 a day just to whip it.
So they're renting the cars from Uber and Lyft. And yeah, like, what will happen if somebody come outside and, like, one of your friends, they drunk and they knock the mirror off? Now you got to pay for that. What if they come out and scratch the side of the car? What if the entire car get damaged? Now all your money is basically gone. And everything that you're trying to show it off for is now you got to spend all that money to pay it back, or a big chunk of it is gone, or something like that, just because of you being a content creator and thinking that you got to live like extremely lavish. No, you gotta live this extreme lavish lifestyle. No, it ain't worth it to me to where I rent a Uber Black or have a personal driver driving me in an Uber Black car just to look bigger and badder than somebody else, and risk messing up the car and losing more of my money. Heck no. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. Let's continue.
Around and try to act like there's, why would we spend $250 to pull up to a party when we could spend $19.99? Half the cars that you see these people whipping around are rentals, and they're spending like $300-$500 a day just to whip it around and try to act like there's somebody they're not. Babe, just because you hit 200K doesn't mean you need to go and get a C300 from Mercedes. Like, it's okay, you can drive your paid off Toyota. Maybe 1 out of 10 of my friends actually cooked their meals at home. Everybody was constantly going out to eat or hiring private chefs. When you start making all this money, a lot of people tend to forget that it might stop one day, so they're still going on these expensive vacations, buying all this designer, even if it's starting to dwindle, because they literally got used to that lifestyle. Girl, when I tell you, the second I had enough money to buy a property, I bought one. I could only tell so many story times and do so many get ready with me's before people fucking lose interest, okay? I had to be realistic about it. But I could see how most 20...
Facts. I mean, she's right. You can do only so many get ready with me's, coming with me to work, all that stuff. Yeah, you can only do so many of those before it's over. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. I mean, people can always go back and watch your different videos and you'll get paid from those. But I mean, if it's not keeping up like how it was at the beginning, then if it's going slower than your money, then yeah, you're gonna have issues. Let's continue.
1-year-olds are not thinking. The second I had enough money to buy a property, I bought one. I could only tell so many story times and do so many get ready with me's before people fucking lose interest, okay? I had to be realistic about it. But I could see how most 21-year-olds are not thinking about that. More or less, a lot of these people ran through their money trying to look cool. That's it. And now...
I mean, that's normal. They're young. You're talking about young 20-year-olds. And I like to think of myself as really, really financially savvy. But I will tell you, when I was 20, 21, 22, I thought it was going to last forever. I was spending it like it was no tomorrow.
And I mean, I just even told y'all a little bit about my story. Yeah, like when I was 20 years old, me just blasting through stuff, my situation with my money from my car accident and everything. You know, my situation with my car accident and the money I got from that, the little bit from content and everything else and other jobs that I had. Yep, just being 18, 19, 20 years old, and going through the money. Obviously, as a person that's almost, close to 30 years old, my mindset is very, very different now. Yeah. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. Let's continue.
And I ain't even talking about, but I will tell you, when I was 20, 21, 22, I thought it was going to last forever. I was spending it like it was no tomorrow. And I ain't even talking about content creation, right? I was making a lot of money just working a regular job, making over $100,000 a year 20-something years ago. You know what I'm saying? 23, 24 years ago. But, again, I think that it's work ethic. I think that it's hustle. Maybe it's because I'm from Detroit. Like, I knew that it was going to come again, and I was educating myself. And so the next time that I started making a whole lot of money, and then when I generated a lot of revenue from a business perspective, all of it went to real estate, all of it went to stocks, all of it went to all of that. And so because I had got it out of my system and because it wasn't a big deal to me anymore, I was cool with staying down for the next 10 years and then basically leveraging every dollar that I get to reinvest back into myself. And I'm always looking for the next business play. But I will also tell you that that's a mindset, that's a mentality. It's got to be in you. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a lot. It's a lot. I can imagine it's a lot for a lot of people.
Now they're begging for galaxies and cowboy hats. Cool.
Influencers are going broke. They're not able to pay their bills. They're not able to pay their mortgages. And people are mad at them. People are mad at them. And I honestly, a part of me, I think it's justifiable, right? To be like, you essentially squandered away millions of dollars and you have like nothing to show for it. There's been so many influencers coming out recently talking about like, I don't have that much money and I can't afford this, and like they went in on a house that was way too much money, or maybe like at a time when you were like, I can afford this payment. But that doesn't mean you're gonna be able to afford that payment forever, especially when you're working in something so finicky as like influencing in social media and things like that. But I feel like this is the perfect example of that most people don't have money problems, they have spending problems.
That's a fact.
And so
Facts.
many people are living paycheck to paycheck media and things like that. But I feel like this is the perfect example of that most people don't have money problems, they have spending problems.
That's a fact.
And so many people are living paycheck to paycheck on all of the income scales. People are living paycheck to paycheck, and it is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But a lot of the people that are like throwing hate their way and being like, honestly, I don't care, it's their fault, they squandered away all this money, they made millions of dollars and now they're broke. Like, that's not my problem.
Well, that is true. Most people are not going to care because you had a whole bunch of money and then you lost it. So a lot of people are not going to care. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. Let's continue.
I get it and it's valid, but way and being like, honestly, I don't care, it's their fault, they squandered away all this money, they made millions of dollars and now they're broke. Like, that's not my problem. I get it and it's valid, but also, like, let's look at your finances. Because I bet you money, a lot of these people, if we went through all of their finances and saw, like, what their budget should be, and not like a tight budget. Because I did this myself. I went through and I was like, what are all my necessities? What would be like a good allowance for me that's like reasonable, blah, blah, blah. And I went through and then I was like, where has all this extra money been going? Because it's not all hitting my savings account. It's just like gone. And I know that a lot of you are like that too. Where if we went through your finances, there would be so much money unaccounted for. Where I'd be like, where did this go? Where's all this extra money? And you'd just be like, I don't know. Because we have spending problems. We have huge spending problems. It doesn't matter how much you make. If you don't get that together, if you don't learn how to spend money and spend it well and be like mindful about your money, it does not matter how much money you make. That's why they say, call it like the lottery curse. It's not a curse. Winning the lottery would be such a blessing. It's a curse because if you don't know how to manage your money and someone gives you a shit ton of money, you still don't know how to manage that money, and you will just blow it. You're going to blow it. Just like a lot of these influencers have blown their money. It's saying. It's really sad, but it's like, what more do you need to see? Like, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like I can, it's whatever, I don't even make that much money, so who cares? But if I started making a lot of money, then I would start. But no, you need to start those habits now.
Right.
You need to start those habits now, and then hopefully, God willing, you start making more money.
It'll carry with you. Nothing can truly prepare you for a lump sum of money of over $1 million. I'll just tell you that. Nothing can prepare you for that. But again, I think that that's something that you have to learn over a period of time. You 18, 19, 20 years old, maybe even younger than that. A lot of these guys, you talk to a lot of NBA players, you talk to a lot of NFL players, they wait until they get their second contract before they actually start to think a little bit differently. So I don't necessarily hold it against them, but at the same time, I understand it, and you just got to diversify your income, and you got to invest vigorously to make sure that you protect yourself. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Tanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Get into the Patreon. We go over this type of stuff. We really dig into it.
But I don't want.
Yeah. I think that they, just because you're making all that type of money doesn't mean just blow through it. Get you a house, get you a couple of new cars, and put the rest of it up, and then just keep creating content, because one day it may stop. The same, like the whole thing about the same thing when we talk about like blogging. Like I said, you can only do so many get readies, so many all of those types of things, because if you're not covering like news or things that people are always going to be clicking, then you're going to be struggling. I've learned a lot, like from Anton and from Dante, from the Dante Show Network, and that's how I'm learning. You have to be able to learn from other people that's doing this for you to be able to do it sustainably, and understanding that blogging and stuff like that just may not last forever. And you may have to do some other things instead, or add a second niche, like how I added reactions with music. But let me know what y'all think. I'll have the original video pinned at the top of the chat and in a link in the description. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. If you have any videos that you run across that you want to hear me react to on the channel, post it in my community tab or send it to me through my professional FB or my professional Instagram. The links to the original video and to my social media will be at the top of the chat and at the top of the link in the description. If you have any situations involving police misconduct, injustice, violations of civil rights involving you, a friend, or a loved one, send that to me through direct message on my professional FB or my professional Instagram. Let me know if there is civil rights attorneys involved, similar to Ben Crump or Ben Crump himself. Let me know about the activists that are involved so I can join them in the fight for justice for you or your loved one. If it does involve a friend or a loved one, see if they want to come on the channel and tell their story about what took place, or whoever it involves, the police or just a civilian or whoever it involved regarding the situation. If they're not in a situation where they can come on and speak, either due to a tragic outcome due to the situation or just due to just the situation that they're dealing with, that they can't come on and speak, then you can come on and speak for them. If you don't want to do that, then you can also write a statement, and I can get you guys a statement out there, along with pulling the stuff that's already public, and then get it out there, and also join the activists in the fight for justice to get whatever outcome that you guys are seeking, and whatever the legal outcome is regarding the situation. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and join the Young TRIPP family. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Make sure you also come follow me over on my professional FB and my professional Instagram as well too. Like I said, those links will be at the top of the pinned comment and at the top of the link in the description. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.